franchisors want you to be successful. They do. But most of the law is common sense. The 125 degrees is a very clear one. You keep the value and the perception of your hotel better, and the person who's looking for the discount goes, wow. What do you think the most important thing on every survey to every guest is?
Hi, I'm John Hogan. I'm one of the co-founders of HospitalityEducators.com, and we've just finished another very exciting week of a hotel certification program for hotel owners and senior managers, and we're going to just share 2 or 3 different ideas of some highlights of what people were really particularly interested in this week.
Well, there were so many different categories, and the wonderful thing is that everything we talked about, it dovetailed into the previous day's discussion and was a lead-in to the following day's discussion. We talked about the industry as far as being high touch, and balancing that with the technology that all of us are having to use right now in our marketing and our selling, and just gaining presence and capturing our market share. So we did talk about that, but it's also at the heart of it a people business, and so we need to connect with the people and build relationships, and we have to just make sure we don't get so caught up in the operations and the day-to-day that we forget why we're there, and that the customer does come first, and that we need to take care of our staff.
It's called the hospitality industry, and in reality, high tech is important, and people want their Wi-Fi, and they want to be able to plug in all of their toys and all of their gadgets. But at the end of the day, they still really want that welcoming feeling by the host at the restaurant. They want somebody at the restaurant, at the front desk, to make them feeling the welcome back, instead of giving the impression that it's just another number. And so that balance of things, we talk about that a great deal, and that's a strategy sometimes that we overlook because we get hit with so much from commercialization and so much from all the technology companies that we must do technology first and most important, and it really is that balance. We also had this week, what Kathleen just said about selling. Many hotels today don't have sales departments, or they have one person who might be responsible for multiple jobs, and what we're discovering that selling in the digital age is that balance of high tech and high touch, but people still want to feel they have a friend in the business. They want to have somebody that they feel they can call and not necessarily get a deal, but that someone will take care of them.
And the other thing is that in order to sell taking advantage of the technology and online, you constantly have to be keeping abreast of how it is changing. Your search engines change. You know, where you show up on a search on the page changes depending on which search engine you're using and what you're looking for, how you phrase it. So many things can disrupt what you hope to achieve in your presence. It can be from ads that don't appear to be ads anymore, because most of us have learned that when you see a lot of ads at the top of the page, we just kind of scan down, then we get to the good stuff, the real stuff. But the way they're doing it now, it's very difficult to discern which ones are the ads and which ones are just coming up because of our response to.
And that led to another discussion that was really good this week in relation to cross-training. We have so much stress, and we have to try to do so much more seemingly with fewer people. So we've discovered lots of ways that people can, without adding more staff, can really make their dollars go a lot further and keep their really good people more motivated and challenged. I mean, housekeepers have to clean 16 rooms. That means cleaning 16 toilets and making 30 beds a day. That's not something that most of us really want to do for the rest of our lives. And we're glad there are some people who do that very well. But that person also might really appreciate the opportunity to work in the front office, or to work on a special project in sales, or the annual anniversary program, or something else of that nature. And getting people to think about those ideas is really fun for us as educators, and it's really fun for them, for the people in our programs, as they embrace it, and the successful ones all do that.
That's right, and it's very important as individuals that we feel that we have room to grow. Going to work day after day doing the same thing repetitively, as much as you need and like the money, it just lacks an ability to hold your interest, and you become very complacent. Your heart isn't no longer in it. You're in it for the paycheck. If you can cross-train people, they don't feel like they're pigeonholed into, I can only do this one thing, or I'm growing, I'm learning things that I didn't have exposure or a chance to learn before. And it keeps them engaged, their enthusiasm, their energy, everything steps up. And it is very important from the ownership side, the management side, that they're keeping their talent, because the talent is not bored. They're taking care of the need when things go wrong or emergency situations come up. They have people that can fill in. If so-and-so doesn't show up for their job today and they were very much needed, there is another person who has been able to learn about that position, has had a little bit of experience in that position, and so they can step in. They may not do it perfectly, but it gives them practice, it gives them some exposure, and it takes a little bit of the pressure off, because you never know what's going to come at you.
That's another transition I've seen I've been in this business for a lot of years now. And we've discovered that the astute hotel owners of today really recognize the difference between leadership and vision, and leadership and management, and that one has to go through and identify the vision, the leader. Even if you have a small 50-room hotel from brand A or a rooms-only hotel from brand B, we still have to try to inspire those people who are doing whatever the hourly jobs are, the repetitive jobs, so that they enjoy and that they have something that they look forward to. And management is doing what needs to be done, the everyday stuff, but there is that balance, and we have to wear both hats often.
Every organization that I have ever worked under, I can tell within a week or two exactly what the culture is going to be, what the atmosphere is going to be. And that is a big determinant as to whether or not I will stay or I will start looking right away for some other place to work. And that is established by the leadership. They set the corporate culture, they set the tone of who we are and the way we're going to do business. And management has to support the operational, performance-driven, procedural resources that take place in any hotel. The leader sets the vision, the tone, where we're going, what we hope to be, what we all want to achieve. But management takes care of the day-to-day, the nuts and bolts of the operation of the business, to take care of the financial success today while we're still aspiring for tomorrow. So in small hotels, the owner is oftentimes also the operator, and they're having to wear both hats at the same time, and it can become a blur for them.
She made a very good point just there about using the word small hotels. You know, we see in the movies or on television, we see about all these big 1,000-room convention hotels or the big gambling casinos in Vegas or Atlantic City, but truthfully, almost 60% of the 53 or 4,000 hotels in America today are under 75 rooms. When you get up to the 150 rooms, you're more than 80%. So most hotels really are smaller, and that is the heart and soul of what hotels and hospitality are today. And that's one of the things we're really excited within Hospitality Educators, is that we're able to offer a variety of options. Some of them online, some of them in person, some of them in blended learning. Any program we've done, whether it's for this particular group or others, we've taken what was just one approach and we've made it blended, and the response has been very, very positive. And it's how we all like to learn in different ways and at different ages, and it moves along very quickly.
It enhances the learning experience when you mix it up. You know, some people are more visual than others. Some people, you know, really like to read a lot, and in this day and age, we're finding the attention span has dropped off so much that you've got to keep everything moving to keep their interest, to keep their attention. And so our approach is good on many, many levels, but especially today with everything being so, I mean, look at when you're watching television. Used to be that when a commercial would come on, it would be one sponsor for a minute, minute and a half, or you might have two sponsors. Now you are bombarded with nothing but images that just trip one upon the other, and it eats up most of the program time, we're finding. But that is how quickly the information is disseminated. That's how quickly it comes at us. And so to sit and hear a boring lecture, you're going to lose your audience. So having it blended is critical.
Well, thank you for joining us for this little short segment, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you.